Hey everybody, this is Holly. Welcome to another video. Tonight we're going to focus on how to trim out the displaced frog stay and the periople rope in between the heel bulbs. And I didn't even know that was that until I talked to Linda about 3 weeks ago. And it's really cool how some things have converged. And I feel like we have like everything. It's so exciting right now how we have so many tools now. Like, I feel complete with what we need to restore these feet with Linda's latest hoof chat was fantastic yesterday. You guys have to check it out because she did a really great rendition at the end of the hoof chat showing where the frog is going to come and how it's going to come back. And that was the piece that I needed in my mind. I've been trimming out this piece that I have marked in red here and then down to here for since she told me like 2 years ago, mm, maybe even no, she told me like 3 years ago. She said, make a mechanical central sulcus. Okay, this is old information, okay? But that's what she said. She goes, make a mechanical central sulcus right here at the base of the frog because she felt like that little groove was important to get the heels to spread apart. So I started doing that. I use a knife and she uses a grinder. So I have to kind of translate what she's doing into what works for my set of tools, right? And so she's inadvertently taken this whole thing down with her grinder and like no problem, and I'm not. So I like have I figured out along the way on my own with the knife that if I trim out this flap, and I called it the bat wings, but actually it's more like butterfly wings than bat wings. So, butterfly wings. I figured out if I trim that out, that I would get a big release going between the bulbs, and the horses would have a big pain relief from it. They would gain great pain relief. And so I was just doing this, and I thought that this was something that everybody else knew as well and was doing. But I think now that I'm looking at this whole thing, that it's going to really get more clearer now to everybody on what we're doing and what's going on. So people have been asking me how, when they use, people that use knives, how to trim out the back in between the heels there and like especially right in here, and how much to take off, how deep to go and all that. And so for you knifers out there, I'm gonna go over that, and because it's really important. It ties in with Linda's new discovery. She just figured out that this piece right here, which I call the butterfly wings, is actually a displaced frog stay. And I've been wondering about this for like 2 years. I've been like, okay, so if we cut this out, what's the frog stay then? How do we know when the frog stay is coming back? And how do we know when to leave it? And how do we know when to not trim it anymore? And how do we know when we've done enough separation with the bulbs where we can let all this stuff grow back? Well, guess what? I feel like I know now because of Linda's latest dissertation that she has explained to all of us in the last couple of days with her hoof chat. Everything just kind of like clicked for me. And I'm so excited. Super, super, super excited now. So I feel like I have a vision and I'm more confident. And of course, Linda might change everything again in 6 weeks because now she's exploring if the frog really is required to support the foot or not. And so who knows, she might, revolutionize everything again in 6 months. But as of today, this is our latest and greatest. And let's go with what we know for today and be confident because it is definitely working, and it is definitely, definitely, I feel, super key. So let's get into that. And I'm going to first show you my video that I did tonight. Now, this is, like I said, this is half in the dark. It's bad quality, but it's better than nothing. So let's watch that to start off with and go from there. Listen, I'm holding the light. Let me hold a light here. Okay. So right here on his foot is where I'm going to trim this spot right there, there's a little ledge right there. See that? Let's see right there. You can see there's a triangle. I'll mark it. I'll mark it after with a photo. But right here, there's a triangle piece and a triangle piece. Okay, that is the displaced frog stay that should be back at the hairline that Linda discovered should be back at the hairline. Now, I've just been trimming it out, just thinking, I don't know what's going on with it. I just knew when I trim it out, it makes a huge difference with the horses' bulbs. And this guy's actually got a space that's kind of becoming a permanent space now between his bulbs, which is great. And so, like, a lot of times you'll see, like, right here, there's a little spot right in there that I'm also going to get right there. There's an extra little layer. So, then see, now you can really see the flap. Okay, so I'm going to go under that flap with my knife. Then I'm going to take any little spot that is in between the bulbs, like there's a little bump right there at the hairline, that little bump right there. I'm going to take that out too. But you have to go really shallow in here. If you don't go shallow in this area, then you'll hit blood. I know from experience. Okay, so I'm going to cut those out right now, and then I'll show you the after picture because I have no one here to hold the camera. So I will show you in a minute. Okay, he is being totally laid back today. This is helping me so much. So, okay, so now I trimmed. You can see now where I cut out. See that? So I sliced that out. Now, on a lot of you guys' horses, it's going to be all the way across, and you're not going to have a groove here. But I've been doing this with him now for like 2 years, so I don't know how long, but anyway, a while. Consistently, at least for, since spring of this year. So he's getting a nice groove that stays in there, and his bulbs are really starting to settle back down here. But you guys might have nothing here, right there, nothing there. There's no gap, so no crack. So when you open that up and create a mechanical crack, that relieves all the pressure inside the back of the foot, and it just makes everything go. Like I always just say, I just feel it going like I'm letting some air out of the tire. Now see, there's a little teeny nubbins right there. You can see that little nubbins. Put his foot back. I'm going to cut that out. So I'll show you that in a second. Okay. The one thing I did forget to bring out here was my glasses. So I'm doing the best I can here without being able to see everything super clearly up close. But there, you can see I sliced that out in there. Oh, so there's still a tiny bit of a nubbins left right at the hairline. I am going to try to get that little bump out because it just bugs me. It's just like my new pet peeve. Like, I'm just taking that out because it's going to help everything spread apart. And if you have one of those, make sure you get it. So I'm going to take that out right now. Okay, I got that out. I'll show you now. See? Now it's all cleaned out. See? There's still little nubbins there left that I have to take out. See that? Right there. See? You don't go very deep, but oh my gosh, does it make a difference? Just clean that out in there. So we've got heel bulb, and no other crap in between. You keep your heel bulbs clean, people. And then this stuff here, I'm going to clean that up a little bit more too. He hasn't been done for a long time, so he's got, his whole foot needs to be done really bad. But I was just showing you the first thing here that I was going to do today. So you can see how that's just, if you get those out, so you'll see the little flap right here and a little flap right there, and it'll look like it's stuck right down to your frog, unless your foot is super clean and moist. Okay, so hopefully this helps. Oh, and as far as how I cut goes, I'll see if I can emulate that right now without the best lighting, but let me grab my knife and just kind of fake it here and show you. So what I do is I take my knife and I cut, okay, hold on. There, I cut like this, down to the middle, and then I go on this side and I flip it back up and I go like that. And then sometimes I come back from this side, I flip my handle and I go this way. And I just seesaw like you're cutting shoe leather. Okay? And then for this part, I just put my knife down in the groove, and then I just sliver back and forth just a little bit, down, sliver back and forth just a little bit until I get that little piece out. So that's how I do it. It's just like cutting shoe leather, just like this. Just see if I can get some light on it here. My phone doesn't want to go in focus because it's nighttime. I'll try to do a better one in the daytime. My phone, for some reason, doesn't even want to focus right now. Okay. Okay, now here's the other foot. I added a little bit here. Okay, here's something I forgot to address in the first video. When you are trying to get this area right here trimmed out, you'll find that your knife hits the foot like that, see? So it can be hard to get in there. So what I do is I pick up the foot and tilt it so that I can get my knife in there. And sometimes you have to go from this way if you can't get a good angle with the way the horse is moving. And horses are, when they're new to this, they are gonna wiggle around when you try to start cutting in there because they're not used to the feeling of you doing something in here. So it might take them a little while to get used to it. So this is my gelding's second foot I'm on now, and you can see the flap right there. It actually flaps up a little bit, right? Let me see where it is. Feel it right there. Oh, I already cut it. Sorry, I forgot I just cut it. It's right there. So look at, I can just do this one-handed practically. You trim that down and make sure there's a split between the two flaps and get the other flap here. Here's the residual of the displaced frog stay right there. And this is working its way up to the hairline. This one's a little bit more bound up than the other foot I started on. This is foot number 2. You can see his bulbs go up a little bit more right here. So I've got to make sure I get this spot opened up right there for him. And he's got 2 little white grooves. See those little white grooves? I'll go and take those out right there and right there. Okay? Yeah, we're gonna take those out. Okay, here's something. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys. And I had a couple of pictures ready to go.